All right, good afternoon, cyber traders. Welcome on back here this Thursday, June 8th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm hoping that we're all having a lot of fun on this Carvana trade so far. It is up over 50% as we're talking, just lingering right around that area. So, hey, for right now, this is just right away going to be put on our watch list for the afternoon. But we've been talking about this trade from head to toe all throughout pre-market here in the morning. And actually, so much so, I just want to bring up a call out, a post we were talking about all throughout the early to mid-afternoon before this meeting started. So great to have all of us back on social, all of our social streams there, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. But of course, for students like Jeff, Leda, Dan, Michael, Grant, as always, great to have all of our students and members alike inside our trading room. But hey, this was at 11:43 in the morning. You can't always count your chickens before they hatch. Actually, you should never look to do that, but you can't always look to just shoot for the stars and kick back and assume it's going to make that move. So trust me, I started off this comment here by saying it's extremely doubtful, extremely doubtful. But if Carvana could break above resistance at 20, that was a historical level. Well, the next historical level from the daily chart, weekly, monthly chart that I saw was not really until 28-ish, and then just in between there, 25 as more of a psychological level, right? So, we're not going to go all the way to 28 per se, but when this is at 20 and breaking above resistance at 20, I forgot to delete my lines off this chart here. There you go. Too many charts, too many lines on the CVNA screen at least, so we'll delete those. But once it ended up breaking above resistance off of 20, you're looking for a big move shortly after, aren't you? Okay. Well, if the next historical is not until 28, there's not much icebergs out there, at least until 22. 25 is a psychological level. Just to say, you're going to be getting more than that 10, 15, 20 cent move. This thing just immediately popped up $1. Then from there ran up towards 23 and 24-ish or so. And there's plenty of time left, folks. So it hasn't went the other way yet. Higher lows pushing up to hopefully make the higher high. And definitely, I'll start off this list with the CVNA trade. All right, so we have the CVNA trade. There's one other that I have my eye on, but it's not really main afternoon watch list material just yet. The Pac West. I mean, it was just called out earlier off the 9:15 closing print from yesterday, I believe that was. I deleted all my lines there, so I just forgot. So I think it was the closing print from yesterday, 9:15. It tested false break, held it on the next test. And then on the next test here afterwards led to the pop. And from there, we were hoping for a little bit more. But, again, just more of a tradable side list stock. Nothing too special or good about PacWest, at least right now. It was trending down going into the market open anyway. So although I was a lot more focused on this trade at the opening bell, I was kind of anticipating a bit of a pullback at first. Otherwise, maybe just lackluster run afterwards. Thankfully, it made a good run, not really so much lackluster, but I was catching this more so off of 9:15 here. So we'll see if this can make the better push heading into the afternoon, but more of a B-list type of stock. All right, so we have a couple of other stocks up big, though. And I got this MIMO stock. I haven't looked at this at all, at the market pushing up here entirely. We have Beyond Meat, actually, former runner for us in the past off their IPO years back, but up over 23%. Got a firm up big today, too, Upstart. So let's just go right to it. MIMO is the reason why I didn't really look at it too much because, A, if we're not going to call it out inside the live trading room, then otherwise I'm not really scanning for stocks below $1. So it didn't pop up for me whatsoever today, this stock. So move on from that. BAOS, this was on our list. More of a dud, though, unfortunately. It had very thin volume on the book there to begin the morning. I mean, in pre-market, if it looks big or it looks bad, you hope for it to fill in. But really within the first 5 or 10 minutes, if it's not filling in, then likely just move to a better trade. Easy to say, but obviously Carvana, it's on our list already, but that's what I mean. You want to move to a stock that's looking a lot better during prime time hours. RGTI. Rigetti Computing. Okay, nice little push up so far today, above $1. That's good for right now. We like that. We like liquidity, tight spread, good volume on the book here for the time being. Is it going to keep going though? Is it really going to keep pushing here? It's already made a big move so far today. I'll at least put this on the side list. I'll come back to it if I need to at the end. Definitely more interested in the Beyond Meat trade. This just came out of nowhere. Rich, did you call this out earlier? I mean, we were on Carvana, so you can't catch them all. But yeah, Rich made a comment at 1:37 in the afternoon saying that it finally took out the iceberg at 13. There we go. And Elizabeth in and out earlier on Beyond Meat also. Yeah, I mean, I personally didn't catch this in time, but hopefully more to come on this trade. I'll put this on our main list with the Carvana. You know, what's interesting here, and I don't want to go too off course, but we're going to find GameStop on the losers list eventually anyway. You would have thought that with GameStop earnings after the bell yesterday, that the meme stock people would be out in full force today. You know, all the people back from the 2020 meme stock craze, AMC, GameStop, etc. You know, it's crazy also. Time's flying so much that, you know, we have new traders joining CTU that just have maybe like, you know, a few months experience in the market, maybe 6 months, a year experience in the market. That's decent. But you weren't around for the AMC squeeze back then. That's crazy. Time is flying, right? Jeez. So GameStop, getting back to this. I mean, with earnings out from yesterday afternoon, I thought that there would be those meme stock people out today. But when GameStop reported bad earnings, plus fired their CEO, I think it was. I think they hired Ryan Cohen, the guy that pumped and dumped Bed Bath Beyond. Lovely. With that, well, I'm not expecting too much upward momentum on this trade. And actually, right now, it's starting to squeak up a little bit. I'll come back to this. But where I'm getting to here, where I'm ultimately getting to is that with stocks like Beyond Meat, stocks like Carvana, meme stocks in the past, that, hey, you know, those could also move off of their own respected news. And obviously, they already have today. Carvana already on our list, Beyond Meat too. Let's see what else we got. I would really expect 25 to hold first test on Carvana should it make it that far. So, you know, I don't think 28-ish just yet. I would assume 25 first. Probably a lot of different strike options, plays just set to strike at that price. EXPI, it's at the highs right now too. You know, I could put this on our main list if I wanted to. I'll just come back to it at the end. AFRM, obviously, we're familiar with this stock a lot more than that last one there, the EXPI. So EXPI to our side list for right now, AFRM to our main list, just rebroke above resistance off of 1850, much like it did at 18, much like it did at 1750, much like it did at 17. Did it hold 17 perfect or false break it? It false broke it. 1709 was the first peak here, then it rebroke. So for anyone asking, hey, how do you trade a more volatile stock? How do you trade a stock that's already moving? It's the same answer every time. You're not going to be able to catch them all. So if it ends up moving up without you, you really can't pull your hair out over one singular trade. But on top of that, rebreaks and 50-cent levels, whole numbers, and just in specific where the icebergs are really at. You know, you look to focus on the 50-cent levels, whole numbers for this type of trade, but you know, you also want to confirm that with level 4. Another familiar name at this point, GSIT. Stock has been on a huge tear dating back to mid last month, and you know, definitely has gained our respect a lot more here this trade. And you know, hopefully more to come on this. If not, then I'll keep it on my side list to wrap up the week for tomorrow. Upstart's been a monster of late too, much like a firm. And I'm gonna jump ahead now with a firm moving and Upstart moving. I'm gonna take a stab in the dark. I don't know if I'll be right with this or not. I haven't checked in with it today. All right, so we got all three of them. All these lending companies out there: Affirm, SoFi, Upstart, hat trick. Nice move on all of them. SoFi definitely looking, you know, really strong here, just given the liquidity. It's still very cheap, so probably won't move as fast. That's a great level 1 or 2 stock for anyone here. Oh, you know what? While I'm at it here today, because actually we caught Mavis Microvision on time today. I've been sleeping at the wheel on this trade pretty much day over day the last 2 weeks. We've been catching it later. It didn't break higher. All right, good. We caught this right off 7 here at the time. It was beginning to push back up, or not off of 7. It was beginning to make the bounce from then, and then we caught the higher low, but beautiful push at the time. Let me ask us here for Lawrence, Michael, Brian, all of us here, just otherwise, what time do stocks typically look to reverse? Don't tell that to Carvana or Affirm or SoFi or any of these, but what time, looking at the cyber clock, do we typically see these stocks reverse in the morning? 10:30, right? There we go, from Elizabeth and all of us otherwise. On the nose. On the nose. I reckon it ended up really topping off here, then pulling back, but it ended up hitting the high and then dropped and began the reversal process after. So All right, what else we got here? Anything else looking good? We got a good watch list already, folks. Bunch of familiar names already. We don't need to build a big list. If you have some stock that we're not calling out right now, I honestly would just keep it to yourself. I wouldn't really look to trade unless if it's something we're going to call out, like an obvious breakout. IONQ, I might slip this on our main list, just given, hey, we are familiar with this stock from the last week or three. And again, much like the others, good liquidity. It's at the highs, so hard for us to ignore IONQ once again. All right, adds to our list there. Again, though, the more I do that, I don't really want to add too much more. So let's see if there's anything else looking equally good, maybe is better. Yeah, it's going to wrap it up here for me on the gainer side, I think, folks. If there's anything else looking good, I'm sure there's a lot more that's up that proverbial 5% that we ask. So type it in the chat board now. I mean, hey, now's your chance. Let me know if there's anything looking good. I'll kind of let you know if it's, worth watching or not at this point. HCP on the way down. Not everything's going up. HCP on the way down. This stock at near the lows, bouncing back up right now, I reckon, but still kind of there. The best part about this trade, the selling point to me, is the liquidity. At least, kind of thin volume, but tight spread. Since we've been on it, really hasn't gotten extremely large, and it's down big enough to where maybe if it ends up holding here, perhaps small little dead cat bounce into the close short covering, but I don't want to jinx it. That might just be the only stock there from the loser side here. Edit, QS, QuantumScape, big drop off their earnings overnight. Yeah, that's just about it that I see. All right, so let me know, folks, if there's anything up, down, left, right, more than that 5%. Definitely on the way up if there's anything looking good. Whole market's up right now. I'll bring up my Benzinga Pro. I'll bring up Bookmap Level 4 in just a moment. Here's my Benzinga Pro, my scanner real time right now. I got Carvana, Priest. We've actually been familiar with that trade in the past. THMO and Bark. All right, so let's go Bark first. Got to love the dogs. So Bark, not really looking that great as a chart, so we're going to pass on it for right now. THMO looks better, but, I'll write it down for the side list for right now. Same with Priest here, PRST. And that's fine. All right, so that's it from the scanner that I have here. Let me just go to Bookmap for right now. My Pac West trade beginning to pull back. That's just on the side. Palantir pushing back up once more. Perhaps I could put this on the main list. If you do well on this stock regularly, then you certainly know who you are. And hey, I don't always say that for level 5 stocks, folks. This is a level 2 stock at most right now. So I'm not putting it on the main special list, but otherwise there's better opportunities, I feel, but this could always be in play. No go for AI today, that's for sure. I mean, hey, when you have a firm moving the way it is right now, and Upstart, Sophie, and all these other stocks right now, again, you got to be pretty selective at this stage. So, Unity. All right. Trying to go back up again off the Apple Vision Pro, what you call it, headset thing. I'm not a big Apple guy outside iPhones. So, just for right now, you making a small little push. We'll keep it on the side list. More of a level 3 plus stock, I'd say. Ooh, nice push back up on Coinbase. Look at that. That's a pretty sharp pop right now. We'll take a look at the other crypto stocks like Riot, Mara. That's really it. Riot not really doing much. Ooh, I forgot about Hoth too. HOTH. That's right. All right, I'm happy I came here. All right, so let's take a look at Coinbase first. Coin is up nearly like over 3%. Definitely doing a good job filling the gap back from the last few days off the SEC news. 56 just about, or 55.88 historical area dating back to just mid-May over this period of time. Generally, it was holding around 56, just around that price or under. You know what? I don't mind slipping Coinbase on the main list for right now. Let's see if there's anything looking as good. None of these really looking too good for right now. All right, so Coinbase in particular, not up as much, but we'll take it. All right, folks, that will do it for all of us here inside the live trading room and all of us on social media. If you're interested in joining our live trading room, just go right down to the link on the green banner below the stream to get yourself set up and started. We'll have more shorts and videos just on our YouTube channel going into the next day or two and going into the weekend as well. So feel free to subscribe right to our YouTube channel as well for more videos. Just any questions that you have first, though, just feel free to shoot me over a quick email. Josh@c2trading.com is the handle. Always like to post that at the end of these streams here. All right, so what do we got from John and Ryan, CVNA? And that's all we got really so far for the afternoon. This and everything else on our list otherwise, but you don't need to really go outside of this watch list, folks. Stick with this list here to begin. Stick with what we got, and I think that we'll be more than occupied. I think our hands will be more than full. All right. Lauren saying Affirm is shortable. That's good to know in case if it does dump off or pulls back. I'm going to focus on the trend up at first, though. And then Ron saying Beyond is a short squeeze asking. Looks like it. It could be off earnings and then otherwise just more people having to cover short with the way the market's moving. All right, folks. But for right now, hey, Rich will be on the mic at 3 o'clock. You got a guest speaker coming in at 3:30. I'm tagging him out. Normally not on in the afternoons anymore, right? So actually, I'm giving the guy a break. I'll be on from 3:30 going into the close myself. We'll both talk to you soon. Take care.